everybody, it's your girl, Brooke Valentine, and you already know what it is. It's youknowI.soul.com.
Thank you for taking the time out to do the interview. We definitely appreciate it.
No problem.
Alright, so first off, can you just tell me what you remember about recording your debut album, Chain Letter?
Let's see. I remember the excitement of being a new artist, and I always tell other up-and-coming new artists when they ask me, any advice you have for me, I always say, take it all in, because you'll never be a new artist again. You know what I mean? It's like that excitement of being new, and that first time, you never get another first time. So I just remember being excited and that feeling of, wow, my dream is really coming true. And getting to work with such legends and like Mojo D. Bastard, who passed away. I was the last person to work with him in the studio, so I was honored to have gotten a chance to work with him and everyone that I worked with on the album. It was an amazing experience.
Yeah, definitely. And then, one of my favorite songs off that album is Cover Girl. So can you just give me some background on that song and how it came about?
Wow, it's interesting that you asked about Cover Girl in particular, because I was actually so sick when I recorded Cover Girl. It was my first time in New York and my first time in snow. So my body went into a state of shock. David the Great, which is the head of the label that I'm with, Subliminal Entertainment, he took me shopping. He's like, let's go, you've never been in snow, let's go get you a big New York jacket. And I'm walking around having the time of my life, and shortly after that, it caught the worst flu ever. So they were like, let's keep working, let's keep her in the studio. Called a guitar player over. He started playing the guitar, and I just started singing, and we said, let's just put a rough down. Let's just have her do a little something, and when she feels better, we'll have her come back and re-sing it. And that's what happened, and after everyone heard it, they said, absolutely not. Leave it exactly the way it is. We love it. Don't change it. So that's how Cover Girl came about. It was me singing through my pain.
Yep. And then with your album, I found that, Girl Fight, even though it was a huge song, it kind of, I think, overshadowed the rest of the record, because I know you had a lot of great songs on there, like Dying from a Broken Heart and such. Do you feel like Girl Fight, kind of overshadowed the album a little bit?
I do feel like the monster that was and is Girl Fight.
Yep.
It took over in such a way. It was like, I always say, Girl Fight was like a big truck, and I'm trying to catch it, but I'm on a skateboard. And I'm running after it, and I'm like, come back, wait. It's that Girl Fight. It just, oh my gosh. I remember my first time hearing Girl Fight on the radio, like sporadically, and then the next day hearing it everywhere I went on the radio all day. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So with that being said, and it was kind of like a blessing and a curse. It took off so fast, and with Chain Letter being so diverse and having so many different feelings on it, I do honestly feel like it created a situation where a lot of fans expected something different from Chain Letter. So I'm excited about this new album Forever, because it taps back into that realness that Chain Letter presented, that feeling that everyone is looking for that they miss. Everyone that I talk to, all my fans that I like to call friends, they're like, yo, we still play Chain Letter. Like, that album was everything, and now I feel like the world is ready for that type of album. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think that Chain Letter was before its time, definitely.
Yeah. And then, you went on to record a second album, Physical Education. What was the approach with that album?
There was no approach with that album. It was basically timeline. I was on the calendar with Virgin Records to put out another album, and we just did it. There was no strategy. It was like, hey, let's put her back in the studio. We're going to put her with this person. We're going to put her with that person. It was very forced, and I called it a paper album. Like, it was on paper. Like, this is what you're going to do. You're going to do this. You're going to work with all the hot producers. You're going to work with all the hot rappers. And that's not really the way I like to work. I like to go in the studio and just let things happen. I like to just let the session take on. I don't want to have to clock in at 9 and, we're going to end at 8. And, that's just not me. That's not how my creativity flows. So with physical education, I can't say my heart was all the way in it. I do think I got some amazing things from that project. And with all that was going on contractually and, with Virgin and their changes and mergers and stuff like that, it was just not something that I enjoyed too much.
And
Which is why I never turned the album in.
Oh, okay.
We never turned it in, and that's why it was never released.
Okay, cool. And through all these label politics and such, because I know you went on a hiatus afterwards. Do you think that hiatus was contributed because of what happened with the second album?
That was the beginning of it. I would say that was step one with the merger and my whole team basically. I just got a call one day that somebody called me and said everybody that was working your project just got fired. And I said, what do you mean? It was like, yes, they totally revamped. Everyone's new. You're going to be getting some calls from this person. Now this person is working. And it was just so much. It's almost like someone divorcing you and you're not getting any papers, any warning, anything. You think you're going to go on a date and you get the paper like, no, the divorce is fine. And you're like, what divorce? What do you mean? It was kind of like that. So, and with me being so young, I was like, I don't know, 19, 20, that's a lot. It's a lot. I was living on my own for the first time. So all of that was a lot for me. And that would be step one in my break. Step two would be when I was working on physical education and kind of working the Dope Girl record. My cousin was murdered. And at that time, it just brought something out of me. I felt like, hey, I've been working 2 years straight, 3 years straight, only being home 2 months out of 2 years. I just felt very detached from reality and family. I just wanted to stop. I just called everyone and said, guys, I just want to go home. I want to sleep on my grandmother's couch. I want to eat chili. I want my mom to make a gumbo, and I just want to go lay in her bed and let her sing to me. That's what I want. And everybody looked at me crazy. They were like, you are at the height of your career. Everything's moving. Everybody knows your name. What do you mean you want to take a break? And I just felt in my heart, personally, that was the right thing to do. And I don't regret 1 second of it. And within that break, I was blessed with a son. I had a son. And I felt like if I hadn't taken that break, I was such a workaholic. I felt like that would have never happened.
Yeah.
I needed that break in order to just I called it a life break. I needed to let real life happen. And I always tell people when they ask me about it, I say, regular 9-to-5ers take a vacation. I said, just look at it like I took a vacation. It was a little long, but it was a vacation, and now I'm back at work.
Yeah.
That's how I look at it.
Okay, awesome. And, I know you do a lot of your own writing, so can you kind of take me through your writing process? Like, how does a song become a song for you?
It's different things. Sometimes, rarely it's to a track. Rarely a producer gives me a track or someone gives me music and I write to it. I think that's too easy.
Okay.
Most of the time for me, it's on the elevator, in my car, listening to absolutely nothing, just driving the lyrics first. And then with lyrics, I have to pull over, type out the lyrics. And then as I'm driving, start driving again, a melody comes. And then I go to producers and I say, what can you do with this? And then that's when we get together as far as music. Two of the songs on Forever, this new album, were elevator records. That's what I call them. I'm just singing on the elevator. I'm like, oh, I kind of like this. Oh, this kind of has a ring to it. I'm going to go with this. I just go into the studio and I put it down. I invite a guitar player over and I say, hey, how can you complement this? And that's how it happened. And with this album in particular, we didn't go into it saying we're going to make an album.
Okay.
It kind of just became an album.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and you're back, and why do you feel like this is the right time for you?
It's meant to be. It's because everything, I always say, when you know it's right, everything will fall into place. And with this project in particular, everything is falling into place. Even when I try to fight it being right, even when that part part of me that is a homebody and loves to stay home and be a creature of habit, even when that part of me takes over, it just naturally falls into place where I get a break, then I get to work, and I get to do this, and everything is just so organic right now. I'm not forcing it at all. And my team right now, Team Forever, is amazing. The people that I'm working with, amazing people. Like, I genuinely love them, and that's what makes everything different this time around.
Okay. And, I noticed that you changed your name from Brooke Valentine to B Valentine, your stage name. Can you kind of talk about why you made that change?
It's not a name change. It's more of a nickname. It's something friends call me and coworkers in the studio call me. Not a name change where I would like to be referred to as B Valentine. You could definitely call me Brooke Valentine. That's my name. That's what my mother calls me.
Yeah.
But it's just kind of like an abbreviation. It's just a little nickname. So nothing serious. I still go by Brooke Valentine as well.
Oh, okay. And, can you kind of talk about your single Forever and how, it's been received so far?
Amazing stuff. Every time I get a tweet or email or a message on Facebook with someone sending me a picture of them and their daughter or their son, their mother, their grandmother, that's when I know I'm doing the right thing. It's like I never left. Once that song hit, everybody's like, Brooke, we love this. We genuinely love this. This is new. This is fresh. It makes me want to dance. It makes me want to go home. And it makes me want to go pick my kid up from school right now and hug them. That's what I'm all about. That's what I do. During my break, I've done a lot of work with developmental delayed and globally delayed children. I have a parent support group that I'm a part of. I mentor a lot of teenagers, and I'm all about uplifting someone. When I see that smile on someone's face, if it's a group of 500 girls that I'm talking to, and if I break through to one and one smiles back at me, I feel accomplished. And luckily, I've been able to get more smiles than that. But I really wanted my music to reflect my personal life and what I set out to do every day. I wanted my music to reflect that. And I'm proud to say that Forever is a great reflection of, who I am and what I really want to do. And that's just to make people smile, to make them feel good.
Yeah. And then, of course, I know you're working on your album right now. You mentioned it a little earlier, but can you just kind of talk to me about the overall sound that you're going for this time around? Because when you first came out, music was your sound was associated with crunk music, but now music is completely different. So, what kind of sound are you going for this time around?
Definitely different. I would say that my album is 98% completed. I'm excited about it, and I call it Ride or Cry music. And that's from the experiences I've had playing it for my girlfriends and my homeboys. They're either riding to it, dancing, or they're just crying. And it's not a negative cry. It's not a, oh, I'm so sad cry. It's exactly, they're like, exactly, you said it exactly how I would have said it. It's like you're in my head, like, it's almost like when my friend was listening to one of my songs, and she was just crying. I felt bad. I'm like, oh my God, I'm making her cry.
Yeah.
And she's like, no, these are happy tears. She said, you're reading my mind. These are my thoughts. I feel so much better. It's almost like you said it for me. And then that was everything for me. So I call this album a Ride or Cry album.
Yep.
And it's real music. It's real. It's so real that when my mom heard it and my really close friends heard it, they kind of looked at me like, are you serious? You just going to tell everybody your business? And I'm like, yeah, that's what they want. They want to hear real emotions. And with each song, I relived that emotion in the song, in the booth. I recorded myself on this album. I pulled the mic out of the booth. I sat there and I recorded myself. I wanted to be alone with my thoughts and my feelings. I didn't want it to be a production. I just wanted it to be really me, and I feel like I owe the fans that. They've waited this long, and they've been there for me, and they're there for me now, and this is what I owe them. I owe them real emotions.
Okay, cool. And, do you have a tentative release date for that album yet?
I don't have one for you right now. I kind of take myself on the outside of that part. I kind of just try to stay in the creative lane and not get so involved with dates, because, you know, that kind of pulls out that homebody Brooke that wants to just curl up on the couch with a blanket. I'm like, no, I don't want to hear about the dates. Don't tell me that I'm going to be on the road for 6 months straight. Don't tell me that. I don't want to know. So I know soon, summertime, and I'm just excited about it. I want to jump up and down right now, but I don't know if I can.
Yeah. That's all that I had for you. Is there anything that you'd like to add?
I just want to say thank you for your support, and I see you guys supporting forever, and I want to say thank you for that, and thank you for taking the time out to do the interview with me, and just send my little message that I love the fans. You're the reason that I'm doing this, and I'm excited about what's to come.